Hello and welcome to the Euro What, episode number 107 for the week of February 15, 2021. I'm Mike McComb and I'm joined today by Ben Smith. Hey Ben.
Hey Mike.
We are a pair of Americans trying to make sense of the Eurovision Song Contest. And this week, we'll be talking about Croatia's selection, Melfest, Norway's Melodi Grand Prix, and this coming weekend's Super Saturday. How's it going, Ben?
Well, I did just look at the calendar and how many things we are going to be potentially watching next weekend, and oh boy, it's here.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I keep forgetting that this podcast can be a monkey's paw at times, and I know last week I said, oh, isn't it great that there's no Super Saturdays this season?
And a finger curled.
Yep, just slapping me across the face. So, yeah, before we get into all of that, there's some news to get caught up on, and first up, Husavik got shortlisted at the Oscars.
It's happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wearing my Sickos t-shirt outside the window. Anyway,
Staring at the window of the Oscars going, yes.
So the way this process works, there were 105 songs in movies this year that were original to the films that they were in. And the music branch of the Academy, they voted on those songs and whittled the field down to 15 different entries. So those 15 songs will go through a second round of voting with the same music branch. And that list will get whittled down to 5. And that list will be announced on March 15th with the rest of the Oscar nominees. Then the full Academy will vote on those 5 songs, and the winner will be announced at the Oscars, which are currently scheduled for April 25th. I think things are looking good for Husavik. I've read a couple of articles that have it at the top of their list of best songs of the 15 songs still in contention.
Anything is possible in this weird year for films.
Yes. And yeah, unfortunately, this was the only song from Eurovision movie that got nominated. So no Ya Ya Ding Dong, although I have to imagine that was one of the 105 songs that were up for consideration.
I have to imagine that was in the mix. Probably Double Trouble as well, but I'm glad that Husavik is the one that made the shortlist.
Mm-hmm. It really is a quality song.
And more importantly, it has the qualities that the Oscars like in Best Original Songs.
True. Good luck, Husavik. We're rooting for you. And then the other major thing related to the actual Eurovision Song Contest, the stage is going to be getting redesigned due to the contest getting redesigned for this year.
Due to the ongoing pandemic.
Yeah. From what I was reading, the main part of the stage is probably going to be more or less the same. It's more figuring out what they're going to do about the green room and the area where there would normally be like 2,000 people standing and cheering, because they're not going to have that this time around, even if there is an audience. So yeah, it's just kind of figuring out how to fill out that space in a way that's going to be like telegenic and make it not seem like they may be playing in an empty arena, especially if the green room is the only audience that is going to be in attendance.
If they do something like Croatia from this past weekend, that could feel very fun, because like I loved what Croatia did, where they just had the floor of the arena be the green room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really liked their setup. Everybody had kind of their own pod going on. It also kind of reminded me of the way they had the 2012 contest in Baku. They had sort of the same sort of green room kind of abutted to the stage. There was a pit area for standing fans in the 2012 stage. But yeah, if they just bring in the pods a little bit tighter, I think it could work. I'm sure they'll come up with something that's going to be amazing. And yeah, just please no Zoom walls.
Zoom walls. That was the one thing from like the Croatia that I was just like, can we just not have a Zoom wall ever again? I know that we want engagement from the real people that are watching this, but also they're just real dystopian for me.
Like they're not adding anything. It's just floating faces. Like you could do the same thing with cardboard standees. And this seems like a good jumping off point to talk about Croatia and Dora 2021. That was a really good show.
It was so well done and just like so efficiently produced, but not in a way that you notice. Like it just sort of went by so smoothly.
I think it might be my favorite national final in a while, like not just this year, but in the last couple of years. Great to watch, and an excellent field of contestants, I thought.
There were some clear standouts for me, but when the voting started, I was like, I have no clue which way they're going to go.
The show started with Nina Kralic's entry, and I thought her performance was fantastic. Like, she had these pole dancers, and her vocal delivery was so great. She represented Croatia back in 2016 with Lighthouse, and I thought that song was kind of pitched a little high for her. Like, it was kind of an awkward vocal, but this one was in a much lower, sturdier register, and it's just like, ooh, I'm really liking this. And it was a great opener to the show. And then other viable entries just kept on coming. Like, this was a really well-designed lineup, a very solid group of 14 songs, I thought.
Agreed. Even the songs that weren't quite on that level were at least entertaining, because, like, I fully enjoyed Ashley Colburn's entry, Share the Love. Admittedly, for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Could you explain yourself?
Yes. Okay. So when the song started and there was a big map of the world in the back, I was like, oh no, this is the big Ernest number. But then, like, 20 seconds later, a woman was lowered from the ceiling on a swing.
Oh, goodness.
And proceeded to do a very bad job of harmonizing with the male singer. If you had told me that these two people were performing the song together for the first time, I would believe you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is difficult to harmonize when I don't think he was fully on key, or at least not 100% confident in what was going on. Like, yeah, it just felt like an infomercial filled with photos from, like, iStock photo websites.
Yes.
And yeah, it was just Eurovision TM, I guess.
Yes. And there was a moment when, like, they were doing the key change and the big note where, like, neither of them hit the note they were supposed to hit, and I was in tears from laughing.
But overall, like, the show was fantastic, and I think that was demonstrated in the scoring as well. Like, after the jury vote, it was pretty tight at the top of the scoreboard. Like, there were 6 entries that had a shot at winning.
The jury was kind of all over the place, but in, like, a good way.
And
what was getting awarded. And, like, by the time we got to the televa, I was like, any of these 6 could take it and be great.
Yeah. And when it came to the public vote, there were some dark horses that came in. Like, there was the quartet of singers. They finished 3rd in the public vote. And, like, it looked like they had a shot at winning for a while. So you have, like, this 7th entry, and it's like, all right, if half the field has a good shot of taking this, that's a pretty strong field. So
you have set things up well.
Yes. Ultimately, it was Albina and Tick-Tock that ended up winning.
Watch the days go. I'm losing track of time, lost in your play zone. Don't overcomplicate now. We're in war zone. You're screaming, oh no, oh no, oh no. Tick-Tock, I'll take you dancing in time with my parade. You think you're fancy, but play the game my way, and you'll be begging, please baby, don't go.
Of the 6 that we had to choose from, I'm kind of glad that Croatia went with one of the up-tempo numbers. I did like Nina Kralic's performance, but when I was watching it as the opener, I felt like that one was potentially going to win, but it also feels very much like what Croatia likes to send. It's like that feels very much in their wheelhouse. The quartet also felt very much in Croatia's wheelhouse. This feels much more up-tempo, a little bit more fun for them, and, like, with Demir's entry last year, like, they eventually released, like, a disco remix of it that had a little bit more energy for it. And I'm wondering if they just sort of to do something a little bit more fun. It also just reminds me of, like, early 2010s entries like Ukraine would send.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. My takeaway from it was that this performance kind of felt like a good first draft. Like, I think that this song, there are bones there that they can work off of. And I get the sense that they know that there's stuff to work on with this song. Like, as it was presented at Dora, it was half in English, half in Croatian. So they kind of need to figure out what they want to do with the language thing. I think they could probably boost up the instrumentation a little bit. Like, the vocals are a little too isolated, I thought. And this is based on, like, there are 4 versions that are on Spotify right now. And, well, yeah, because, I mean, it's like they have, like, the full English version, like the single version, the Dora version, a Croatian version, and I think the fourth one might be like the karaoke version or something like that. But
Okay.
they've got some options here, and fortunately they've got some time. Like they've got a month to figure this sort of stuff out. They already know that they're going to need to tweak the performance and stuff. Like it feels like it's very early in the song's life cycle. Like it's like, all right, we've got this song, we've got our entry for Dora figured out. If we get Eurovision, great. Oh, we're going to Eurovision? All right, well, now we need to go back and have another team meeting, figure out how to improve this for the next stage of the competition.
Figure out the slider on English versus Croatian, which I thought they were pretty close to getting it. I like the little bit of Croatian and like that final chorus. It's a nice twist.
Yeah. Like the way that I have it in my notes is it's not a 2020 TM song, you know, like this doesn't feel like it's like the Trapped in Amber thing that has been popping up with some of the entries this year, where it's like, yeah, 2020, we all know what happened, let's write a song about it. It's like, no, like this feels like it can exist outside of the darkest timeline, you know.
Yes. Yeah, like I think that's what drew me to it is there are a few of them that were kind of Spotify playlist filler. I did enjoy Toma's song and was like very surprised at how much jury love it got, just because it felt very, like, more so than Tick-Tock. It felt basic.
That one definitely felt much more Eurovision-y, in the kind of more negative side of the connotations of that term. But it was a fun performance, and you could tell that he was having fun performing it. And I think that is a major selling point.
I fully agree. Like, that was a major selling point for me. Like, they look like they're having so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the song is good, but the performance is fun. It seems like they're having a great time. Tick-Tock, I'm excited to see like what they do with it over the next month, because like I agree with you, there are some good bones there, and they have time to kind of tweak it and make it the best version of itself. Thinking about how last week we were talking about that we were entering a new Tick-Tock paradigm, and here we are.
Yep.
With the new Tick-Tock paradigm. Croatia heard us and assumed that we were talking about a different Tick-Tock.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're getting the job done. That's what's important. So
yes. In addition to Croatia, we had Sweden continuing the Melfest revamp process, and I have now learned that because we have so many different guest hosts, apparently each week is just going to have a different vibe. And this week we had Oscar and Aniston Demina. It was a very different vibe from last week, but it was a lot of fun, very frenetic. I would watch their children's television program. They seemed like a great doubles act.
Those two both have such different energies, but yeah, this pairing worked surprisingly well.
It really worked. This week was just like a series of bits, because you had like the ongoing interviews with the contestants, which were very fun and were just like edited like YouTube videos, and just like had the smash cuts to references, and I was just missing all of the jokes, but everybody seemed to be having a great time. Then also they were just like driving around and harassing other Eurovision performers from the past, yelling at them to sing their song.
Yeah.
And just seeing who was game, and Nana Gronval just like walking her dog.
Yeah.
And then of course Robin is willing to like perform I Can't Go On in the street until with like a car honking at him to get out of the way.
Yeah. I'm sure they just had to turn the camera on for that to happen.
Like, just like he is ready to go at all times. Anyways, they were delightful. Cristo, again, just seems so excited to be on television. He had less to do this week, so maybe they need to have him and one other person.
I'm wondering if they're trying to have this kind of double up as an audition process for like the next few Melfests and their hosts. Because they always try to get alumni to be hosts every year. And I guess the pool has kind of run dry a little bit. Like, so much of the talent has just moved on to other projects. So
this is a great chance to see who can do the comedy bits, who can be a good interviewer. So of this week's 7, going direct to final, we had Dotter, which I did not doubt for a second that she was not going to go through. Sweden has named a woman.
Yay.
They have named several women this week, remedying last week's dearth. But like, I disagree with the other direct to final pick. They sent Anton Ewald. I would have said Patrick Jean. I thought that Patrick had better vocals, and then in the reprisal, I was proven correct because Anton Ewald seemed to be having a great time. Got a case of the giggles, which like I've been there.
Yeah,
I know how that goes. But also the problem with that when you're at like a thing like a Melfest is that everybody can just hear that how much of your backing vocals are doing the lifting. And admittedly, he's doing a lot of choreography during the performance of New Religion, and the choreography is very good, and like it's very hard to do like all of the dance moves and sing at the same time, but also don't give me like the full process of how that sausage is made.
Yeah, I mean, especially because previous Melfest acts have also been like, they did not have the backing vocals advantage. So like
did not have the advantage this year. And especially after, because like Daughter they named as like the first DTF qualifier, and her vocals were definitely live, and she seemed to be having a great time with that reprisal. And it was just a very stark contrast.
Yeah.
I was very surprised that Patrick Jean had come in fifth.
I don't think you were the only one who was surprised. It seemed like Eva Rydberg and Eva Roos were equally surprised that.
Yes. I mean, I was delighted that they're going through to Andra Johnson, because so often the older end of the Melfest participants are there kind of just to fill out the roster and then quickly be eliminated in sixth place. Their song was fun. I would like to see it performed again. Is it going to win Melfest? Absolutely not. Is it delightful? Yes.
I kind of wanted to win Melfest just as like a total troll to
Yeah. Just like Sweden just deciding we don't want to win this year and just sending something that's fun like that.
Yeah. Or
on the other hand, I feel like that would backfire and that has like the same karaoke vibe as your pick for Estonia last week to me.
I understand that critique. I don't think it fully fills out that brief, but I will say that Eva reminds me so much of Carol Burnett, and I have a feeling that may be like the energy that is carrying this through. But yeah, like I could see this song getting selected as maybe like a way to ask Sweden to kind of cool its jets with like the power pop. Like yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, this week really kind of highlighted like what my problems are with Melfest just as a process, where Daughter's song, just the way that Twitter was reacting to it was so hyperbolic that it's just like,
yes,
calm down, everybody.
I also read the tweets while Croatia was happening, so I knew it was going to happen when I sat down to watch Melfest. And I was like, it's very good and it should qualify directly to the final, but also you guys are kind of going over the top on this.
Yeah.
And like I know that we all liked Bulletproof, and Bulletproof was very good. I'm still figuring out how I feel on this one.
I feel it's a little overproduced, and I'm not sure if that is backing track or an instrumentation, or if it's just like what the performance is. And like, if it's something that could be maybe scaled back like a notch or 5, that would be awesome. But
yeah, because I feel like it starts and it's just at an 11 and it can't keep that energy up.
Yeah, and like I just find it lyrically to be rather trite. I think part of it is like just the word tot, absent of the word tater, is just not for me. So
not for you. Let's see. So elsewhere in Heat 2, Frida Green is the other Andra Johnson finalist, which I liked her song, and she has Anna Bergendahl writing that, and like it definitely sounded like an Anna Bergendahl written song, but it was also very lovely. I feel like there were rumblings on this about Twitter about there being some sort of P4 Nasta curse. Julia, one of this week's entrants, came in last, and she was the P4 Nasta entrant. And I remember a couple years ago, the Lovers of Valdaro were the P4 Nasta entrant, and they also came in 7th in their heat. So I'm just wondering, is that a trend, and should I be paying attention to it? Her song was fine, but it also felt like the kind of song that a car commercial commissions when Lorde has said no to letting them use royals. Is they're just like, fine, we'll write our own.
Yeah. I thought the performance was just kind of lacking something. It might have just been like lacking people on the stage, or yeah, like it felt very isolated.
There have been a number of those this year where it's been just one person on stage, where it's just like, this needs a couple of people behind you.
Yeah, which, I mean, given the circumstances, we should probably be a little bit more forgiving of that.
Yes.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like I'm immediately reminded of that every time that I say something like that.
Yeah.
This week is Heat 3 of Melfest, and in the mix we have Charlotte Pirelli, who is most well known for singing Take Me to Your Heaven and winning Eurovision 1999. She won Melfest 2008, and she last competed in Melfest in 2012, where she did not qualify. Maybe expect some Schlager.
We haven't had much of that yet.
We haven't had much Schlager this year. We've also got Emil Ostergaard, who was nominated for Best Male Live Performer in 2019. He lost that award to Benjamin Ingrosso.
Ingrosso,
yeah. Clara Hammarström, a competitive equestrian featured on the show Familjen Hammarström. I'm assuming that's like a Chrisley Knows Best, but about an equestrian family.
She's an equestrian. I think her siblings play other sports, but yeah, it's just about a family juggling three elite athletes. Yeah, you can watch it on SVT. It's not geo-blocked. I may have watched like 15 minutes of it.
I'm like, you know a lot about this program. And she has worked with Mohombi. Mustache, a heavy metal band. I wonder if their song is called Twin Twin. Elisa, whose band Lali competed in 2005 Melfest, where they placed 6th, and who competed solo in 2014, where she did not qualify. Alvaro Estrella, who performed last year with Mendez, and also competed in 2014, where he did not qualify. So another round for him. And then Tusse, who won Swedish Idol 2019.
Yeah, so it seems like a good competitive mix of newbies and veterans. It should be a pretty good show. Among all of the shows that will be happening on Saturday, we will get into that.
Yes.
The other show that happened this past Saturday was Norway's Melodi Grand Prix. It was the 5th and final regulation heat of the competition. 4 more songs competing for a slot in Saturday's final. The first round was Tuvea versus River. Yeah, so if you tried to watch on Saturday, my understanding is the stream just crapped out on folks.
This was the first heat where like I did try to watch. I didn't watch it live. Well, I haven't watched it live for a few weeks. I did attempt to watch it on Saturday, and the app would not let me.
I ended up watching it Sunday morning and was not expecting what happened during Tuvea's performance.
Nope. I watched all the performances this morning. It was just like, oh, this is a thing.
Yeah, Tuvea, they are the trio of brothers who are farmers / rappers. And yeah, they went full France, Romania in their staging. Like I was thinking like, oh, this is reminding me of Yodel It. This is reminding me of that entry in France's selection a couple years ago where it was all in the storybook staging. And yeah, like they just had this whole barnyard set up with everybody on trampolines. It was wild.
Yes. I'm so glad that you looked up that they were brothers, because I just assumed that they were 3 identical people with the same haircut.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Norway, so.
Yes. I feel like this performance and Twosome's performance exist in the same college talent show that I am very mad that I took time out of my Friday to attend.
Aw. I did find the performance just delightful. It really kind of reminded me of the aesthetic of like the Fisher-Price farmhouse set.
Yes.
And
Yes.
And there were just the animations of all of the animals jumping around. And I would suggest that you seek out this performance if you have not watched it.
It's worth
a
watch.
Yes. Should it have qualified? Absolutely not.
No. Should have gone through? No. Is it worth watching? Yes.
Yeah.
They're in John Deere tractor colored suits. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then River, yeah, the performance was fine. It was kind of like your standard Eurovision country ballad pop song, using the same floor graphics as Calm After the Storm. It was fine. Let's see. Second round was Anne Finn. I don't know if that wasn't really in my wheelhouse. I don't know if you had
Nor mine.
Yeah. And then
the beauty of getting to watch these after the fact is that I can realize that something is not for me about a minute in and move on to the next thing. And unfortunately, that's what I did with this one.
Yeah. It didn't really have much stickiness to it. So she faced off against America, who seems to be a potential spoiler in the overall field, judging by like Twitter's reaction when they were finally able to watch the show.
I watched that one. I was very impressed, and admittedly, over the weeks, the bar for what I want from Norway has gotten lower and lower. I thought that the simplicity of the performance was very powerful, and I thought the song itself was the best of the 4 this week.
I agree. And so did Norway. So River won the first duel, America won the second duel, and America ended up winning the heat overall. So she will be in Saturday's final. The last performance was from Rain Alexander, who has the last fast pass to the final, and his song Eyes Wide Open. Yeah, Ben, what were your thoughts on this one?
If this was his audition to get to record the next Bond theme, he did a very good job.
Yeah. Yeah, in my notes, I have feeling good as done by Shirley Bassey for the next Bond movie if Billie Eilish somehow ends up getting canceled between now and when the next Bond movie comes out. I feel like it may just need Ralph Siegel involved somehow, and then you get Eurovision Yahtzee.
Just bingo.
Yeah. I don't think it was as much fun as his entry last year, but
No.
but I did get the sense that this was a make good for all of the shenanigans last year, particularly in the clips package that they showed. And one of these chyrons was just like disappointed artist. So
no, I'm glad that they brought him back. Unfortunately, I did want like another fun Viking number, it turns out.
Yeah. He got his haircut's really nice. And like the package before his performance, he's had a lot of different looks. I did not realize he was so versatile as a performer. So good on him for that. So yeah, we are recording this on Sunday, so we don't know how the second chance round has played out. So one of the 15 previous entrants that have not qualified has advanced.
Has earned a ticket.
Yes, and they will be there on Saturday. And good luck to them, whoever that ends
And
up
we are
being.
so excited for it.
Yes. So,
Go team.
Yeah. And then in the final, there will be 12 songs competing. There'll be the 6 fast passes, the 5 winners from the heats, and whoever won on Monday. Then Norway will make their selection, and we will be done with Norway's process. That's kind of my takeaway at this point. So.
Yeah, just like Norway will have chosen something, and I will not have to watch someone fish through a bowl that has only 4 scraps of paper in it for a few weeks.
Good luck, everybody.
Looking forward to this week and this coming weekend, the Czech Republic is dropping their entry, Omaga, as this episode drops. Song titles are just falling out everywhere. North Macedonia will be performing Here I Stand. Moldova will potentially be performing a song called Sugar. It's the sort of thing where we're just hungry for so much news right now that we're looking at everybody's Instagrams, and anything that gets put in quotation marks, we're just assuming is a song title. Natalia Gordienko is putting the word sugar in quotation marks a lot, so perhaps that is her song title.
Yeah.
We will see.
Yeah. I did an audit earlier today, just be like, how is the calendar shaking out? Because we've only got like 3-4 weeks before all this stuff is due, and there are 20 entries out there where we really have no information in terms of dates, song titles, nothing. So get hype for the Ides of March, everybody.
I will just like randomly have the thought of like, oh, we haven't heard anything from Malta recently. That could just happen at some point.
Yeah, Malta, Armenia, Georgia. I assume you're still coming to play. Like,
oh, right. Georgia.
Please, right? We miss you.
We miss you.
Oh, but Bulgaria's getting the machine going. Victoria is dropping her tracks from A Little Dramatic on YouTube. She dropped the first one on Sunday. And yeah, the songs will be dropping one each day. There'll be 5 total. And that'll be in addition to Ugly Cry, which she dropped last fall. And yeah, once all 6 of those songs are out, the Bulgarian delegation will be launching some platform to get feedback on the various entries. So yeah, you can offer your opinions on the various songs and help them choose what will be her entry at Eurovision.
Just seeing the phrase, a platform will be launched for feedback. Do they mean the YouTube comment section?
It could be that. Yeah, it sounded like they were doing like their own separate thing, but yeah, I mean, probably Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, smoke signals.
A 10-minute survey monkey survey.
Yeah. So, and we'll have a link to the playlist. They're updating their YouTube playlist as each song drops. So that'll be in our show notes.
Estonia's semifinals are coming. They're finally here. They are happening Thursday and Saturday, which we have talked about those. It's a stacked field. The jury will be the only audience present. And if a contestant can't perform, the music video will be used in place of their performance.
That should be a fun show. I'm really looking forward to Thursday in particular, and I think Saturday is also going to be a hoot. So
Agreed.
Also happening on Saturday, we've got Finland's UMK. There are 7 songs that are up for consideration. They will be performed live. This year, they have feeds on the YLE website, not just in Finnish, but also Swedish, Russian, and English. So yeah, that'll be a great way to watch the shows. And we've gone through the playlist. And Ben, what is catching your ear from Finland?
What surprised me going through this field is how different these songs are from one another. Finland has a lot of moods to choose from, and yet the one that jumped out at me is Axel's song.
And I am losing no more sleep. falling down and begging please, 'cause I've been down that road before, and I don't need to hurt anymore.
I've been rooting for Axel on this show for quite a bit, and I like the song. I feel like Axel has a particular lane, and he's doing a very good job in that lane.
He's sticking in his lane, and it's like, again, the song feels. I think I like this song more than I liked last year's song.
Yeah, my only concern is that I'm not sure this is the right year for that particular lane.
That is also true, is that it is in that same sort of wistful. Last year's song took on an unusual resonance after the pandemic happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, maybe this isn't the year for something in that continued vibe, but, like, I thought that his vocals are very nice, the structure of the song. Like, it has, like, a nice build to it.
Mm-hmm. He's picking his songs well.
I was looking at what the favorites are according to the bookies, and, like, just had, like, a real bad allergic reaction to most of them.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
What have they been saying?
Current favorites of the bookies are Blind Channel,
Uh-huh.
and then followed by Teflon Brothers and Pandora.
What?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. Followed by Teflon Brothers and Pandora, followed by Axel.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the Blind Channel one, Dark Side, like, I understand why people
I understand. Yeah,
are responding to that song. It is so not for me.
Put your middle fingers out, take a shot, throw it up and don't stop. Living that life on the dark side, like a 27 club headshot, we don't wanna grow up. Living that life on the dark side, life on the dark side.
I already did Linkin Park once in the early 2000s, and that was enough, thank you.
Yeah, I could see that one winning UMK. I think it's going to have a tough time at Eurovision, but that is a discussion for later on. If and when
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah. No. I
happens.
think that one would. I think that one would have a tough time.
Yeah. But wow. The Pandora one that just shocks me because it's
That
such
one-
nothing of a song.
Oh yeah.
goodness.
No. Like I get like why we kind of like it's got kind of a goofy vibe to it, but also it's just like the thinnest of lyrics.
Oh,
It is
man.
mostly just the words "I love you."
Honey, come ride, come ride.
You can't do that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
like that. Oof, wow. Like, I am offended. No, the one that has really caught my ear is "Lie."
And I know that I can't say I'm sorry for all the wasted love and the broken trust that were left behind. So we talk about the weather, we talk about our friends, we talk about anything but what we're thinking. So you ask me how I'm feeling, and I lie.
I'm kind of surprised that one is my pick, especially because I don't think it would do well at Eurovision either. Like, it's a solidly built song, but it just seems like it's the type of song that just does not get any sort of traction at Eurovision. And I don't know if it's just because it seems like it's very cis-het white guy kvetching. I don't know, but I like the sound of it, and it feels the most radio friendly of all 7 entries. Although I would include Axel's entry on the radio friendly side, but I'm sorry, I'm still reeling from the whole
Oh yeah.
I
No.
love you
That's
thing.
completely
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. But no. Just like thinking about the Finnish field as a whole, like I feel like none of these 7 songs feel like, yes, this is the winner of Eurovision to me.
Also happening on Saturday is Spain's national final. They've got 2 songs for Blas Cantò. Voting is open now if you've not cast your vote yet. If you go to the RTVE website. Ben, did you get a chance to listen to either of these tracks?
I have not. I'm going to be surprised with what Spain picks. What are your thoughts?
It's kind of the same issue with Axel, where it's just like, I think Blas Cantò has a specific lane and he does well in that lane, but I don't think that lane is the lane for Eurovision 2021. Both songs feel kind of similar. Like, they seem like recent Spanish entries. I'll put it that way, just in like on the ballot front. Like, I'm kind of getting 2018 vibes, which
Spain's going to Spain.
Yeah. So, like, I think Voya Quedarme is the better choice. Memoria sounds like it would be better if it were a boy band performing it, just because there are a lot of different vocal components that, coming from one person, it's a little whiplash-y. And
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I think either one is going to be fine, not great. Like, I don't know, it's kind of Spain's MO at this point. So it could be a fun show. They're doing like a whole special for it and getting a lot of other guest performers on the show, including some Eurovision alumni.
I was looking at that, like they had said that they were going to be doing like a 2-hour show. I'm like, they have 2 songs.
Yeah. So I'm guessing it's going to be performances, keeping the voting open a little bit longer for people who are experiencing the songs for the first time, and then guest performances, and then the results. So it'll be a fine way to close out the afternoon, unless you switch over to Portugal, where they are having the first semifinal for the Festival de Cançao. They've bumped up the field a little bit. It's going to be 20 songs overall, 10 this week, 10 next week. What songs jumped out to you from Portugal?
I feel like this slots in nicely with Spain and Finland, in that Portugal is staying in their lane this year, or at least I feel like Portugal has a lane that they like to stay in, and it is not necessarily one that overlaps with my personal taste. And I appreciate that they make Festival de Cançao about their traditional music and pulling in influences from like fado, from all the other things they're going in there. But there's a lot of same stuff in this first lineup.
Yeah, when I was going through and making my picks earlier today, I was just thinking, oh, I have no idea which one Ben is going to pick, because none of these are screaming Ben. So
Nope. The one that jumped out to me is the one that feels like it is taking the influences that a lot of their field is, and is taking them in what feels like more of a indie rock direction to me. So I picked Miguel Morocco's Girasol.
Girassol vai correr o mundo em prol de ideal, não lugar para desar. Se não der, então venha o que vier, pétalas da coroa a cair sem servir.
if I had to take a guess, that probably would have been what I would have guessed for you. And this was also on my short list.
It has just a sense of energy to it that some of the other ones do not. It had kind of like more of a guitar-driven vibe, like, well, they're all kind of guitar-driven, but sort of a different production style, almost like a 90s, 2000s indie rock filter thrown on top of the fado and the jazz.
Yeah, I also got a little bit of a 60s vibe to it.
That would make sense. I do like a 60s influence in my music.
Yeah, but it definitely was the most straightforward of the 10 entries here. And it's weird because I felt like last year's field, there was a lot more like diversity in genre and diversity in presentation. And
yes,
yeah, this one, it really does seem like they're going back into like Portugal being Portugal, which is fine. Like I am a huge fan of it. So like I will take it every day, but I can understand how you might have difficulty finding something to latch onto. If
yeah, because I remember watching last year's final and I enjoyed myself, but I was also like, Portugal marches to the beat of a different drummer, and I respect that immensely, but I need a different drum beat.
Yeah, Miguel's entry was on my short list. I also really liked Irma's Livros, but I think the one that I'm most rooting for is Sarah Afonso's Contramão.
Eu levo acaso às costas, eu vou por vontade e perco a razão. Se a estrada acabar, deixo andar e mudo de direção.
This one just feels very much in my wheelhouse of lovely, dream-like, slow build up, like there's a lot of optimism in the vocals of this track, which I'm really responding to, I think more so this year than in previous years. And I think this is going to be one that's going to sound really just lovely live. And I think back to when Salvador won in 2017. And my immediate reaction to that one was just like, that's just a lovely performance. Like, not even thinking, oh, yeah, this will go on to win Eurovision. Just being like, this is just a nice breath of fresh air coming out of Portugal. And it would be great to have that again this year.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do like about this field is I don't think there were any songs that like jumped out as being like there would be disappointment if they advanced. It is just a very chill vibe, which, given how crazy Saturday is going to be in terms of the amount of content, having a chill vibe to end on is going to be nice.
There is definitely an airiness to Sarah Afonso's song.
Yeah, so Saturday is going to be really packed. We've got Estonia, Finland, Spain, Portugal, Sweden, Norway. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something? I'm sure there's going to be 7 other songs that are just going to drop and be like, hey guys.
That feeling is that there are 20 songs that we have that could just drop at any moment.
Yeah, they're just waiting to pounce. Don't do it on Saturday though. Come on.
Yeah, come on. They could see, wait, there are how many songs dropping on March 13th and decide to move things up.
Keep an eye on the calendar, folks. It's going to get crazy in these last few weeks of selection season. That's going to do it for this episode of the Eurowhat. Thanks for listening. The Eurowhat podcast is hosted by Mike McComb, that's me, and Ben Smith.
That's me.
You can subscribe to the Eurowhat on the podcast app of your choice. When you subscribe, leave us a review, let us know how we're doing, and help other Eurovision fans find us. Show notes are in the description of this episode or on our website at eurowhat.com. If you'd like to contact us, we're at Eurowhat on Twitter, or you can email eurowhatpodcast@gmail.com. We'll be back next week to try to make sense of what's new in Eurovision.